You don't need that shit. From being a scrawny fuck to somebody who actually looks decent, you're not there yet. Getting your first 5 kilograms of muscle as a skinny guy bulking up is pretty easy as long as you just follow the triangle of gains, which I'm going to outline right now. Alright, so the first corner of the triangle of gains is lifting strategy. And particularly, we're talking about what kind of exercises you're actually doing in the gym. Let's be real. You've probably tried the same thing. You've probably seen different videos of these guys doing these weird chest flyers and all these different exercises, and you thought, oh, this is sick. I should try it. The problem is, you're not an experienced lifter. You are a skinny guy. You have no muscle. You're just starting out. So the lifting strategy that you need to follow is prioritizing compound movements, right? Compound lifts are movements, exercises that require multiple muscle groups engaged when you do the rep. So let's say for bench press, everybody knows the bench press. When you're pressing it off your chest, the chest is engaged, the triceps are engaged, the shoulders are engaged, the core is engaged, the legs are engaged. It's basically a full body exercise. So you're going to get way more gains doing that compared to something like doing a super weird variation of a unilateral chest fly pec deck fucking machine. I don't know why all these people do this shit. So compound lifts are the bread and butter of what's going to get you to your first 5 kilograms of muscle, because we're trying to build a base. And the analogy I'm going to give you right now is, think about your physique, your body, your starting skinny body as a cake, right? We right now are trying to develop the base of the cake. You know, we need the flour, we need the eggs, we need the basic things, right? We need the basic ingredients, the sugar, the stuff that's going to build the base, build the cake, right? And then it's only when we're advanced, when you've put on more muscle, when you reach plateaus, that's when you add the sprinkles. That's when you can delve into all these different advanced, different ways to improve, right? When you think about it, there's only so many ways to make a cake, right? You can only make it fucking chocolate, vanilla, like there's a specific recipe. Whereas the toppings you could put on it, you could put lollies, you could put chocolate, you could put whatever you want on it, right? So if you think about it that way, we right now are trying to just develop our cake base, and then we're going to add the toppings, the sprinkles, the sauce, whatever the fuck we want at the end when we're actually advanced, which is right now not for you. So what you need to do, compound lifts, right? Now this doesn't mean that you do not do any accessory exercises like bicep curls and stuff, but I would recommend 80% compound, 20% isolation, or even 90% compound, 10% isolation. And the specific exercises that we're going to do, I like to call the fundamental 6. So the way we're going to choose this is, in our program, we will have a successful program to help us build muscle as skinny guys put on our first 5 kilograms of muscle if we include a vertical push, a horizontal push, a vertical pull, a horizontal pull, a lower hinge, and a lower press. What this means is that we are combining all different movement patterns from the upper body to the lower body to cover everything. You don't need to go and do these stupid bullshit random exercises. You just need to think logically. Okay, what exercise means I'm pushing vertically? Okay, it's something overhead. It's something like a shoulder press. What exercise means I'm pushing horizontally? Well, it's a bench press, or it's some kind of press. So if you think about it, we've already just covered our shoulders, our chest, and our tricep right there. Then we're thinking about pull. Okay, what's a vertical pull? All right, we're gonna pull. We're doing a vertical pull. We're doing lat pull downs. We're doing pull-ups. Okay, we're doing a horizontal pull. All right, we're doing a row, or we're doing some kind of inverted row, some kind of bodyweight row, something where we're pulling this way. That's gonna target our rhomboids, our scaps, our mid-back, our traps, and then the vertical pull, we've got our lats, and as well, we're targeting our biceps and our forearms when we're doing these pulling movements, right? Then our lower body, a lower hinge is going to target the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back. That's things like RDLs, Romanian deadlifts, different types of hinge movements, right? And then we've also got the lower press. It's going to target the front. So what do we know? Things like squats, right? Now, you've got only 6 exercises and you're targeting everything, instead of looking at one of these stupid YouTube bodybuilder plans where they've got 15 different exercises doing 4 sets of 25 reps in each set. You don't need that shit. You don't need that. We're trying to build the base of our cake. We're not trying to fucking make this massive ass wedding cake, right? You're not there yet. You're not there yet, and that's a mistake I made. You are simply a beginner. You don't have a base. You're fucking scrawny. So why are you trying to do all these complex exercises, right? Just because you saw it, just because the guy who's pumping 500 milligrams of testosterone into his shoulders every fucking day to get jacked is telling you to do some super weird chest exercise and you can see all his striations. It's not going to work for you. You're going to be doing it with 3 kilos anyway because you're not even strong enough. You need to just be building up the fundamental 6. If you can build up 20 kilos, 30 kilos, 40 kilos, 50 kilos on each of these lifts, then you're going to have the gains. You're going to have the first 5 kilograms of muscle to show. And the second aspect of the triangle of gains to get your first 5 kilos of muscle as a skinny guy is frequency. Now, too many guys, myself included as well, make this mistake. We think, okay, the more the better. I really love the gym. If I go more often, it means I'm going to make more gains. More frequency equals more gains. If I do 20 sets on this, it's going to be more muscle because I'm doing more reps. No, not correct at all. Again, we're trying to build our base. We're trying to start off. If you're trying to make a fucking cake base, you put it in the oven. You don't keep it in the oven for fucking 17 hours, right? Whereas if you've already got a cake base and you're putting the toppings on, if you're an advanced lifter, if you're putting the springers on, technically you can put as much fucking topping on as possible, right? Because you've already got the foundation. But if we're just starting to make our cake, well, we're going to fucking burn. We're going to burn out. Exactly right. We're not going to have the correct recovery if we're going too much, especially if you're just starting. Your body, your nervous system is not actually used to all this stimulus. So what I'd recommend is keep your consistency to 3 to 4 times a week. You do not need to be going more. I used to beat myself up because I got addicted to the gym and I used to love going every single day. But I promise you, it is in those days of rest, it's in those 3 days of rest that you'll get per week, which is where the gains are actually happening. Because in the gym, you're breaking down your muscle. At home, when you're sleeping, when you're eating, recovering, you're building it up. So if you go 6 or 7 times a week, you're giving your body no latency. You're working out, then working out, working out, working out. You're not giving it working out and rest so it can recover and then be stronger for the next session. That's why people always plateau. They always spin their wheels because they can't actually recover properly. They don't make gains. It's so obvious. And skinny guys especially need to benefit from a lower volume approach, right? You're just getting started. If you're getting exposed to anything, you don't just go 1000%, right? You need to sort of ease yourself into it and adapt a base. It's all about creating a base. It's interesting, even the triangle of gains. The triangle is the strongest shape. This is going to create your foundation. We're talking about the foundational 5 kilos of muscle, the thing that starts it all. We're not talking about being an advanced lifter here. We're talking about getting over the mark from being a scrawny fuck to somebody who actually looks decent and can actually walk around with their shirt off and have a bit of self-confidence in themselves, right? Which is what you get from getting your first 5 kgs of muscle, okay? So keep it to 3 to 4 times a week. Do not overdo it. I beg you, this will be the biggest mistake you make, which is overdoing it. Now, you may be thinking, well, I've already gone to the gym now, there's nothing else to do in the day, right? And if I can look back on myself and recommend what should I actually do during the day after I've done my workout, after the productive habit's done, well, what do? I'll learn more about fitness. I'll learn more about nutrition. I'll go for a walk so I don't get fat when I'm bulking up. I'll do some cardio. I'll do some sports. It's all about the balance between stimulus and recovery. And with that stimulus and recovery point noted, that's a perfect segue onto protein, onto your recovery, your protein intake. Protein is what is required to build muscle. If you do not consume enough protein, you are not going to build muscle. Simple as that. Doesn't matter if you're getting stronger, your body is not going to have the materials it needs. It's not going to have the batter to make the fucking cake. So we need to be consuming protein. Now, everyone on the internet will tell you to eat 1 gram per pound of body weight or 0.8 grams per pound or whatever. That's the typical advice. However, if you're a skinny guy, the biggest problem you're going to run into is undereating. You're skinny to begin with. Obviously, being skinny means you haven't been able to consume consistent meals over however many 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years of your life. So if you're skinny, then that means there's going to be a chance that you're not going to eat as much as usual that you need to. So the strategy that I would recommend is to actually overshoot your protein intake. I want you to think about it. If you're recommended to eat 1 gram per pound of body weight a day, and throughout your life, however many years you've been on the earth, you've not eaten enough to begin with in general, which is why you're skinny right now, then what makes you think that you're suddenly going to be able to adhere to the exact 1 gram per pound of body weight metric every single day? Nothing. So, in that case, you need to be overshooting it. The biggest benefit I experienced myself was eating over that. So, there'd be some days where I'd get 300 grams of protein in. And why? Because I knew that the next day, since I was a skinny guy, a hard gainer, since I had trouble putting on muscle, trouble eating a lot of food, then that would mean that the next day I might only get 140 grams. So let's say that you're 150 pounds right now, or even less. Let's say you're 130 pounds like I started out. 130 pounds, I was still trying to eat 200 grams of protein a day, right? The recommendation would say 130 pounds, but I was trying to eat 200. Why? Because I knew that maybe on a Wednesday in a random week, I would only eat 80 grams. So I'd be below my 130 grams. The benefit is I already ate 200 the other day. So now it evens out. Now it creates a buffer point so you don't lose that available protein in your body. And that's going to help you be able to keep recovering properly. And also as a side point, don't be stupid and think that you can only absorb like 30 grams of protein like people tell you in one meal. You can go ahead and eat a massive 80 to 100 gram of protein meal, still be good. It's going to absorb eventually. It's not just going to be pissed out. You're going to make gains from it. So overshoot your protein, consume as much as humanly possible. 200 grams, 300 grams, doesn't matter. It's all beneficial. It's all going to make you more aesthetic. It's all going to help because you're still getting in more calories as well when you eat more protein. And we know to gain muscle, we need calories. So if you just follow these 3 steps in the triangle of gains, firstly, compound lift focus. Secondly, 3 to 4 times a week and prioritizing the fundamental 6 in these workouts and getting enough protein, overshooting your protein intake so you can make sure you're recovering even on the days when you're not eating as much because you're a skinny guy, then I guarantee you this is the roadmap on how you're going to get to your first 5 kilograms of muscle fast. But if you want more help transforming from scrawny to aesthetic and confident using simple models that you can follow like this, then check out the community below. It's where I outline all the strategies, all the tactics, the roadmap, the blueprint to success, building your foundation, building your cake to an aesthetic physique. Stick to this mechanism for 6 to 12 months and you will see increasingly better results. With that being said, if you enjoyed this content and this has helped you, then like, subscribe, and share to another one of your skinny boys so you guys can get jacked together. Let's fucking go.